Just because someone's a naturopath or a functional medicine doctor does not make them an autoimmune expert. I'm going to repeat that. Mistake number 5 is kissing too many frogs. Okay. What do I mean by that? So, some of you, when you got your autoimmune diagnosis, are thinking, oh, I'm just going to research and I'm going to see a naturopath. I'm going to see a functional medicine doctor. I know what I'm doing with this. I got this. Well, unfortunately, here's the thing. We just talked about how your conventional doctor is not God. Well, I want to actually go into the training of naturopathic training and functional medicine training to say that just because you see a naturopath or a functional doctor, that doesn't mean they're an autoimmune expert. Just because someone's a naturopath or a functional medicine doctor does not make them an autoimmune expert. I'm going to repeat that. And people end up kissing a lot of frogs and thinking, I've done that. I've been there and I've done that. Well, here's the interesting thing in training. When you look at functional medicine doctor training, some providers aren't even medical doctors. The ones that are medical doctors, most of us have gone into a field, gotten sick ourselves, and then decided to go and learn about functional medicine to get certification in it, right? But the thing is, when you get the certification, people start to realize how difficult it is to have all these different parts. So when you look at our 5 pillars to transform, all the 5 areas that really needs to be mastered by you in turning around your autoimmunity, well, you need a doctor who's mastered all of those things. And unfortunately, this is the reality is I haven't met a functional doctor that really has mastered all these areas well. I don't have an autoimmune specialist I go see myself because I haven't seen someone that really is an expert in all these areas. So it's really actually hard to find a functional medicine doctor or naturopathic doctor who's truly the master of all these 5 areas. I would say that my luck in being able to do that, my reality being able to do that is because I was a family physician for 10, 11 years before I really got more and more progressively sick. And then I went to early menopause at the age of 36. And so I started to learn a lot about bioidentical hormones and became a hormone expert with that. And then got diagnosed with autoimmune disease. And then I started to learn a lot and practice a lot in my clinic. And I opened a functional medicine clinic where half the providers were primary care providers, half the providers were naturopathic physicians, and I did both. And I had thousands and thousands of clients over the course of 10 years after that to really gain experience to be like, these 5 pillars didn't just come out of nowhere. It's like I had to learn, how do you master hormones? How do you master food mapping in the gut? How do you master vitamin nutrient density? How do you master thyroid? How do you master gut healing? How do you master mindset? Literally, I had, lucky enough, a clinic of one of the largest populations of autoimmune patients in the state of Oregon. So I was able to get a lot of practice and experience. So now I have 27 years of experience under my belt, including being a primary care physician, and then another 10, 12 years on top of that as a functional medicine physician, having to master all these areas for my own health so then I can help other people with it. That in itself, I think, is unique and it's hard to find, and I'm saying that not like gloating. I'm saying that sadness almost, like I wish I could find another doctor like me, or I wish I could just say, hey, go find a naturopath or a functional doctor that could help with your autoimmune disease. Because this is one of the struggles that my clients have when they graduate from the program, is that people will say, hey, I want to find somebody just like you out there. It's actually really hard. It's because most naturopaths, functional doctors end up specializing in one little niche. It's also like, this is why a lot of conventional doctors specialize. They don't want to be a generalist, right? They specialize. I'll be a kidney doctor. I'll be a brain doctor. So the reality is that most functional doctors, naturopaths, specialize in one area, whether it's mold, it's Lyme, it's hormones, it's one or two things. And to me, in my experience, unless you've actually worked the whole 5 pillars and you do everything in the 5 pillars, you learn to master it. I teach it to you that way, and you do it in the right order, you don't get results. So that's the thing why I'm saying it's important not to kiss too many frogs. It's like, do your research and really, but realize if you haven't watched the 5 pillars training, write 5 pillars in the chat. And I implore you to watch the 5 pillars training, because those are the 5 areas that you really have to master to turn around autoimmune disease. So yeah, if you want to go see a naturopath functional doctor, go for it. But realize that you're going to be mostly addressing one area, maybe two, but you really need to do the whole kit and caboodle if you're really serious about turning around your autoimmune disease. And that is a very difficult thing to find. And you may end up having to see 20, 30 doctors over the next 20, 30 years to try to piece this over yourself. And that's the problem. Kissing too many frogs costs you a lot of money, a lot of time, and autoimmunity doesn't stop while that's happening. So there's permanent damage that's occurring with autoimmune disease. The sooner you realize that you need to, there's a lot of frogs out there, and you get more precise and concise about how you're going to treat autoimmunity and understand the big picture, the quicker you could turn it around and stop kill Godzilla while he's an egg. And that's why the 5 pillars training is going to be really crucial. If you haven't seen it, it's long and it's great because I go through the best wisdom I have, what I've learned over the last 27 years of the 5 exact areas and how to put them together to turn around autoimmunity. Whether you work with me or you've tried to find 20 other specialists to work with it, those are going to be the 5 areas. That's not a secret. That's not a mystery. So I hope that's a great educational tool for you and a great guide for you, whether or not you work with me or not. But I do see that mistake, which is I call kissing too many frogs and thinking that you've done it all and tried it all. You haven't. If you're interested in working with me or learning more about autoimmunity, we have tons of video trainings and case studies to share with you, no matter what the diagnosis or lack of diagnosis there is. So we would love to share the wealth and share all the trainings and information that I've taught. All right, everybody, have a wonderful day. Thank you.